I wrote my first letter to the universe the day I lost everything. It was a night unlike any other. The air was too still, the moon too quiet, and the stars absent. It felt like the sky had closed its eyes on us. At exactly 9:47 p.m., the storm came. It wasn't just wind. It wasn't just rain. It was like the earth itself wanted to swallow our home whole. The thunder shattered windows. Flames danced where laughter used to live. Our roof was torn off like paper. My father's last words to me were not even words, they were a scream, muffled under a collapsing beam. My baby brother's fingers slipped from mine. I survived because I had gone outside to fetch water. Just water. I remember thinking how cold it felt in my hands when I returned, and how hot everything else had become. When I stood in the ashes, surrounded by the smell of burning memories, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't even kneel. I just sat and wrote. With the burnt end of a stick on a piece of torn cloth, I wrote, "Dear universe, why? Why them? Why me? Why now? What am I supposed to do with this pain?" I buried that letter beneath a rock. And I whispered, "If you're real, answer me." But the sky remained silent. And I remained alone. For 2 years, I wandered through towns like a shadow that no one noticed. I slept in temples, under market tables, and in open fields. Some gave me bread. Some gave me names like the Cursed One or the Storm Child. But no one gave me peace. I began to collect stories. Stories of others who had lost something too. A fisherman who lost his sons to the sea. A bride who lost her husband the morning after their wedding. A child who could not speak, but carved the names of her parents into stone every morning like a prayer. Each person I met seemed like a reflection of my own wound. I started writing again. Not letters this time, but their stories, their pain, their questions, their silent letters to the universe. Then one night, in a forgotten village wrapped in silence, I met her. She sat in a small corner, selling herbs and roots. She had clouded eyes, completely blind. Still, when I walked past her, she turned directly toward me and smiled. "I've been waiting," she said. "You wrote to the universe. And now it has written back." My heart froze. She reached under her table and pulled out a folded cloth. It was mine. The same burnt cloth I had written on. My words, still there, but now glowing faintly in the moonlight. Beneath my writing were new words, written in silver ash. "Pain is not punishment. It is permission. You survived because your voice was chosen to carry the cries of many. Now write again, not to ask, but to declare." I broke down in tears for the first time since the fire. Not because I was weak, but because for the first time in years, I felt seen. From that night onward, I no longer wandered. I walked. I moved with purpose. I returned to villages with empty notebooks and full ears. I listened. I wrote. I shared. I helped children write letters to their lost mothers. I helped widows write to their husbands, not to mourn them, but to thank them. I helped orphans write to stars, birds, trees, anything that felt eternal enough to carry their words. I created a book. One filled not with answers, but with letters to the universe from every broken soul I met. And slowly, we began to heal together. Now, years later, my story is told around fires. Strangers who've never met me call me the girl who spoke to the universe. But I am not special. I was only willing. Willing to scream when no one would listen. Willing to cry when silence was heavy. Willing to write when there were no more words. To this day, I still write. Not always because I need answers, but because I know someone, somewhere, does. And sometimes, when the wind brushes my cheek, I smile. Because I know. The universe is still writing back.